Happy New Year! I'm Mary Kopczynski, the CEO of RegAlytics, live from Whistler with your update on this week's 13,958 regulatory alerts, the least amount of the year. Did you miss me? Did anybody notice? I took the first week off from the regulatory roundup. First week off in 5 years last week. I had an update written and everything, but you know what? I didn't do it. I just didn't. I figured you'd be okay. Anyway, the regulator of the week is the executive office of the U.S. president. From Jimmy Carter to Joseph Biden to Donald Trump, there was a lot of activity. What do you need to know? Well, there's been a lot of midnight rulemaking. Midnight rulemaking is the phenomenon when a lame duck president creates a flurry of federal agency activity to prevent or save their legacy before an incoming president takes over. Most notable is the IRS passage of a gross proceeds from sale reporting requirement for certain types of companies that are facilitating activities with digital assets. What does this mean? Well, it gives some new definitions of what a digital asset service provider is and is not. Those who are included in the definition basically need to issue 1099s for their customers to report to the IRS. So, for example, if you're facilitating the trading and movement of digital assets, you need to report what your clients are doing and what their gross proceeds of sale are to them. But if, for example, you're merely a software that is providing the underlying technology to do this stuff, you are exempt. This regulation is passed and it goes live officially on February 28th. But the incoming president has the ability to appoint a treasurer. So look, everything's subject to change. Either way, I predict there is a very high chance that if you're involved in any way with digital assets, you will need to be producing some sort of report about your customers at the end of 2025. Also this week, President Joe Biden announced the confirmation of the 235th federal judge during his presidency, which is marking the highest number of judicial confirmations in a single term since the 1980s. He also vetoed an act that was creating new judgeships, saying that it seems strange at the 11th hour to be adding new open judge positions when there still were vacancies. Also, the former President Jimmy Carter passed at 100 years old. The official day of mourning is January 9th, which means the federal government will be completely closed. And also CME has announced reduced trading hours that day. The topic of the week is HIPAA, the privacy regulation that deals with personal health data. It is up for an overhaul around cybersecurity, meaning it's being modernized for the first time since 2013 to put in more mandatory cybersecurity requirements around this kind of data. Other than that, it's New Year's Eve for me, but when you're watching this, it's New Year's Day. So again, Happy New Year. I'm ready to go ski. So that is it this week for RegAlytics. We have the global supply chain of the world's regulatory alerts wherever you are in the world, including Whistler.